Hi everyone, I'm Lily. Welcome to Therapy Cook. In this video, I'm using these beautiful mini eggplants to create this eye-catching and delicious little masterpiece. I truly believe food can be art. For the bread pocket, we'll be using a muffin pan to see if this viral trick actually works. And if you don't have a muffin pan, don't worry, I'll show you a plan B. At the end, we'll find out just how easy or messy they are to eat. Let's get started. First, wash the mini eggplants and dry them really well. When I was shopping, I picked the ones with longer stems. I just think they look cuter. Next, grab a pot that's just big enough to fit them snugly in a single layer. Now, pay close attention here. If you stand an eggplant upright, it won't stay put. So we're going to trim a tiny bit off the bottom to create a flat base so it can stand on its own. Then cut about ½ inch off the top. That's going to be our little lid. Using a sharp knife, make one plus-shaped cut and one X-shaped cut inside the eggplant. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp so you don't have to force it. And don't cut all the way to the bottom. About 1/3 of the way down is plenty. Put each lid back on its own eggplant, then trim the stem a little shorter. See, it stands up perfectly in the pot. Let me show you that one more time in a quick close-up. Repeat the same process for all of the eggplants, then set them aside. See this cutting board I'm using? It's one of my absolute favorite kitchen tools. I do just about everything on it. It doesn't stain, it barely shows anywhere, and it's built to last. I've linked it in the description if you want to check it out. Arrange the eggplants snugly in the pot. Then pour in just enough boiling water to reach about this level. Cook them over very low heat for at least 30 minutes. I can't give you an exact cooking time because it really depends on how firm your eggplants are. But here's what you're looking for. They should open up about this much. A little less or a little more is totally fine. Once they reach this stage, stop cooking them. If you leave them any longer, they'll turn too soft and the whole plant falls apart. Set the eggplants aside and let them cool while we get the bread ready. This is my all-time favorite all-purpose dough recipe. I leave the recipe right here, so save it and check it out later. I divide the dough into equal portions, just eyeballing it, about the size of a large tangerine. You can weight them if you prefer. I've told you guys before, but this steel bench scraper is incredible. It's honestly one of my favorite kitchen tools. For the price, the weight, quality, and versatility, and hard to beat. I've linked it in the description below. Then I shape each piece into a smooth dough ball, just like this. Next, I grease the muffin pan. You can use either a brush or a cooking spray. It really doesn't matter. Personally, I'm just not a fan of the mess that cooking spray makes. Now, place the dough balls into the muffin pan. I also saved 3 extra dough balls to show you what you can do if you don't have a muffin pan. Cover the dough and let it rest for 30 minutes. While the dough is resting, let's make the filling. I'm using extra lean ground beef seasoned with onion powder and turmeric to get rid of the raw meat smell. Black pepper for a little heat and its antioxidant benefits. Parsley, oregano, and garlic powder to give it that classic fast food flavor, plus some salt. The amounts are totally up to you and your own taste. I'm also adding some corn because it goes really well with fast food flavor profile. Now I'll cook everything over medium heat. I didn't add any oil at all because the beef releases more than enough fat on its own, even though it's extra lean. Just look at how much fat it rendered into the pan. Now that the dough is risen, I want to create little wells for the eggplants. My first idea was something I'd seen on social media, but it just didn't work for me. Then I thought maybe I needed to grease the bottom of the glass first. I tried it 2 or 3 more times, still didn't work. So instead of giving up, I decided to shape them by hand and make the wheels myself. And honestly, they turned out great. Now it's time to place the eggplants. First, pat them completely dry with a paper towel. Just don't squeeze them, or all your hard work will go to waste. Then gently open up the center of the dough like this. Hold it in place and set the eggplant right in the middle. One more time. Easy peasy. Just remember, don't press on the eggplants while you're doing this. After one or two, you will get the hang of it, and the rest will be a breeze. Now it's time to fill the eggplants. Open the lid, then grab a small fork and do exactly what I'm doing. Gently push the flesh toward the sides to create a little pocket in the center. Now fill it all the way with the stuffing, pressing it down just a little. Top it with a bit of shredded mozzarella and move on to the next one. I'll leave the full recipe for this filling in my Creative Meals playlist, where I turn random ideas into delicious meals. I'll link it right here. Now put the lids back on. Mix the egg yolk, milk, and a pinch of salt really well. Then brush it around the dough. As you can see, dough has already puffed up while I was filling the eggplants. Now sprinkle on some black and white sesame seeds. One last tip from experience. Just rub a little oil over the eggplant stems and the leafy tops. Otherwise, they can dry out and burn in the oven before everything else is done. Transfer the tray to a preheated 375 degrees Fahrenheit oven and bake for about 20 minutes. Now let me show you how to make these without the mold. Flatten a dough ball on a lightly floured surface. Place the eggplant in the center, then cup it in the palm of your hand. From here, everything is exactly the same as before. Gather the dough around the eggplant stem and pinch the edges together with your fingers, like this. Finish with an egg wash and a sprinkle of sesame seeds. Pretty cool, right? While we're baking, if you enjoy my style of cooking, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more creative recipes on the way, and you might want to be the first to try them. I mean, these look absolutely gorgeous. Here's the molded version, and here's the one made completely by hand. Let's get a closer look before we cut them open. Spread your favorite sauces onto a serving plate, then place the eggplant pockets right on top. Now for the best part. I've been waiting for this. Oh my god. I'm speechless. Before I tell you how they taste, if you genuinely enjoy this video, please give it a like. It really makes all the hard work feel worthwhile and motivates me to keep creating recipes like this. Thank you. Alright, no exaggeration. These are juicy, incredibly flavorful, and seriously satisfying. It's basically a complete meal wrapped up in one bite. Soft bread, tender eggplant, melted cheese, and a rich, savory filling. Easy to eat. I wasn't expecting them to turn out this good. I really can't find a single flaw. And if you've got an idea, leave it in the comments. Who knows? One of my next recipes might be inspired by you. In my next video, we're putting 4 healthy brownie recipes head to head, each made with different ingredients. And I'll tell you which one actually tastes the best. That's one you won't want to miss. I genuinely had a great time spending this time with you. Until the next video, take care.